and we had to float there for over 5 hours with the Zodiacs.
我旁边呢是我们船上的导游，来自阿根廷的 Ben。
Hello everybody, how are you? My name is Benjamin. Ben, everybody knows me as Ben. I come from Argentina. I work as a guide for many years, almost 10 years, over 10 years already actually. And I've been in this industry working in the polar regions for about 5 years at this time. Mostly working in Antarctica, but recently and this season started in the Arctic. I was working in Patagonia mostly, pretty much also around South America, running tours in the southern part of South America, so I got involved with lots of cultures and travels around. But my passion definitely is related to mountains and glaciers, so I think that's why I dedicated most of the time in Patagonia, the south of Argentina, which is for me one of the most beautiful places that I've ever been. I love it. It's a constant interaction with very interesting people from all over the world with different backgrounds, but also it puts you in contact with nature in very unique and remote places, and you get to know the people, not only travelers that you're working and guiding to, but also the people that makes your job much easier, that sometimes they are part of communities or your colleagues. So I think that's one of the things that I enjoy the most, actually, interaction with people, but also with nature, to see landscapes as I'm seeing right now through the window here, and be able to see and enjoy wildlife in such a unique way, from a unique perspective. Difficulties. I think the only difficult thing for an expedition guide, or probably the biggest one, if there are more, is to stay in touch with people. We, as you can see during these days here, we get completely disconnected from the society, and when you're far away and your family still has a life there and your friends still have a life there, and sometimes you wish you could be more in touch with them, to don't miss special dates or to don't miss moments. It's kind of a sacrifice that we have to do in order to get this life. I've been very lucky because I remember on my very first trip in the Arctic, in one place we found a carcass of a dead whale by the shore, so we knew somehow that there would probably be some interaction with polar bears there, so we stick in the area just waiting for it, and suddenly we saw a polar bear mother with 2 cubs that got there by land, and they started feeding, and after a while they just went a little bit uphill to rocky space where they just slept and they were resting. At some point the mother started nursing the cubs, which is something not very common to see, and as we thought that was a very special moment, then we were floating in the Zodiacs in a very reasonable distance to don't disturb this mother, and suddenly, without knowing and without being aware, a big male polar bear came from the water right behind us and went straight to the carcass to start feeding, and the mother with the cubs was there on top. The other polar bear was feeding in the base, and there was kind of a tension because we knew that it could be a difficult situation for the mother trying to protect the cubs. So we stayed there for a while, and there was like a weird interaction between them, but nothing happened. But still, it was beautiful to see these incredible mammals in their place, being themselves, and not affected or disturbed at all by our presence there. And it's actually a totally different kind of experience. Actually, it comes to a dangerous situation that we had to face when we were doing a Zodiac cruising on the Weddell Sea, and the conditions got really complicated and difficult. Some katabatic winds came down from the mountains, and we were floating there with 7 other Zodiacs, and in a matter of like 10-15 minutes we just got involved in 150 kilometers wind gusts and 2 meters waves, and we were there with passengers, and we had to bring everybody else back on board, and the operation was really, really tense, really dangerous. We knew that whatever you did wrong, it could be a totally disaster. But fortunately, we managed to bring everybody on board, and then we had, because of the conditions and the logistics to take the Zodiacs back on board, we couldn't do it straight away, and we had to find shelter behind a huge iceberg to get protection from the wind, from the waves. And we had to float there for over 5 hours with the Zodiacs, totally soaking wet, freezing cold, and it was like thinking and being in a survival mode. There's nothing you can compare it to. There's nothing that can give you that sensation. I think it's the same with Antarctica. It's those places that you can see them and documentaries and movies, pictures. People can tell you lots of stories about it. You can read books and everything, but you will never get that feeling that you get with all your senses when you are there, when you're feeling the cold, the wind, when you get wet, when you smell the places, as we did yesterday when we visit Alkefelet with all those birds, and you smell the air there. It takes you to an experience of senses that nowhere else you can have. Also, these are very unique environments, and as we know, they are changing very, very quickly, and we can see that. We can see those changes. I haven't been working in this industry for too long, but in my short period working in the industry, I've seen lots of changes, especially in Antarctica, where I have more experience. Along the seasons, how the temperatures changes with the variation of the season, the amount of rainfall that comes there. So they are changing very quickly. So I think it's a good reason to come and explore and see it by your own before it's too late.
Okay, thank you for the interview.
Thank you very much.
See you.
Bye.